The story begins at a swim relay at the University of Florida, where Haley Keller competes but narrowly misses achieving the best time. The moment triggers a memory from her childhood when she lost a relay and felt disheartened, though her father, Dave, always encouraged her to keep striving. After the relay, Haley receives a video call from her sister, Beth, who warns her about the approaching Category 5 Hurricane Wendy. Beth is worried because she hasn't been able to reach their father and suspects he is still in the area. A brief argument follows, as Haley appears to have sided with their father during their parents' divorce, while Beth sided with their mother. Despite the tension, Beth asks Haley to check on him. As evacuation orders are given, Haley attempts to contact Dave while driving out of town, but has no luck reaching him. Along the way, she encounters Wayne, an old friend and Beth's ex-boyfriend, who is helping direct traffic as the storm intensifies. He advises her on where to go, but her concern for Dave overrides everything. Ignoring the warnings, she turns back and heads toward him. At Dave's condo, she finds only his dog, Sugar, with no sign of him. Haley calls Beth to update her and speculates that their father may have gone to their old family home. Despite Beth's protests, Haley takes Sugar and drives through rising floodwaters to check. Upon arriving, she searches the house but finds it empty. Noticing his car still in the garage, she calls his phone and hears it ringing in the kitchen. Sugar's barking then leads her to the basement, where she discovers Dave unconscious with a severely broken leg. She tries to help him upstairs, but they are suddenly attacked by an alligator lurking in the space. Barely managing to drag themselves to safety, they barricade themselves behind pipes. Haley does her best to tend to Dave's injury, but he insists she should escape alone. She refuses, determined not to leave him behind. Dave explains that his leg was broken while trying to evade the gator. Desperate to call for help, Haley attempts to retrieve her phone, which she had dropped in the chaos. Staying as quiet as possible, she carefully moves through the basement, but just as she reaches the phone, another alligator emerges. Now trapped between two gators, Haley scrambles to escape, but one of the creatures crushes her phone. During the struggle, her leg is bitten, though she manages to blind one of the gators in one eye while Dave fiercely attacks the other. She successfully evades them and retreats to a corner to treat her wound, while Dave, enduring immense pain, manages to set his broken leg. With water levels rising fast in the basement, Haley scrambles to find a way to get help. Spotting movement outside, she flashes a light toward three people, two looters, Stan and Lee, along with their friend Marv, who are ransacking a gas station across the street. Stan starts heading toward the house, but before he can make it, a lurking alligator snatches Lee from their boat. Stan tries to call out a warning to Marv, but before Marv can react, he watches in horror as Stan is savagely torn apart just outside the store. Looking up at the last second, Marv catches a glimpse of a gator in the mirror. Too late. The creature lunges, and in an instant, he is dragged under and devoured. Inside, Dave suggests that their only escape route is through a passage leading back up to the living room, since the stairs are now crawling with gators. Haley tries to push open the hatch, but a heavy drawer blocks it from above. Meanwhile, outside, she and Dave spot Wayne and his police partner Pete patrolling the area in search of anyone left behind. Pete remains on the boat while Wayne enters the house. As Pete notices the boat's turbine tangled in seaweed, Wayne steps inside, calling out for Haley. Before he can react, a massive gator strikes, clamping down on him with crushing force. Pete hears the struggle but doesn't get the chance to help. Another gator launches at him from the water. In moments, more alligators swarm, ripping him apart. Realizing they are running out of time, Haley clings to Dave, breaking down in despair. She begins blaming herself for their parents' divorce, convinced that by drawing Dave's focus toward her and swimming, she inadvertently drove them apart. Dave, despite his injuries, reassures her that none of it was her fault, that she and Beth were the only reason their family stayed together for as long as it did. He urges her not to give up. Determined, Haley spots Wayne's gun floating nearby. As she reaches for it, a gator clamps onto her arm. Fighting through the pain, she fires multiple rounds until the creature finally goes limp. The gun clicks empty, but she has no time to dwell on it. Realizing their only way out is through the storm drain, the very route the Gators entered from, Haley takes a deep breath and swims through it. She carefully evades the lurking gators, but along the way, she discovers their nest, with eggs already hatching. Pushing aside her fear, she escapes through the drain and rushes back into the house. Grabbing a crowbar, she pries open the hatch just as the basement floods completely. She pulls Dave out just in time, though he is unconscious. Frantically, she revives him, and together they stumble outside. With Sugar in tow, they make their way toward the looters' boat across the street, moving carefully to avoid splashing and alerting the gators. They reach the boat, but before they can steer it to safety, the powerful floodwaters shove them backward, right into the house. Searching for options, Haley finds a radio and desperately tries to call for help. Meanwhile, Dave shields Sugar from an approaching gator, but in doing so, he loses his arm to its vicious bite. Trapped in the upstairs bathroom, Haley finds herself facing another gator as the water level continues to rise. Thinking fast, she lures it into the shower and slams the door shut, trapping it inside before reuniting with Dave. As the floodwaters surge, they take Sugar and climb to the roof, searching for higher ground. Another gator lunges for Haley, but before it can reach her, the current sweeps it away. Lying on the rooftop, exhausted and injured, she spots a helicopter approaching in the distance. Grabbing a road flare she found earlier, she ignites it and waves it high, signaling for rescue. The flare's bright glow catches their attention, and as the helicopter nears, a rescue line descends, offering them a final chance at survival. If you were trapped in a flooded house with alligators, what's the first thing you do? Fight, hide, or try to outswim them? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.